Who is afraid of Zohran Mamdani? Billionaires. Billionaires fear the verdict of New York City's voters. Why would the rest of the world care about a New York City election for mayor? Well, this year's contest is more like a referendum on everything from the inequalities of capitalism, toxic Islamophobia, to the genocide in Gaza and the future of a Democratic Party paralyzed by the Trump presidency. I'm Tony Karan, editorial lead of AJ Plus, and having lived in New York City through 9 mayoral elections, I can assure you this one is uniquely global in its themes. It's often a dull and parochial affair, has been unexpectedly illuminated by Zohran Mamdani winning the Democratic Party's nomination for mayor. Born in Uganda, Mamdani spent some of his formative years in South Africa. He's the son of legendary Indian filmmaker Mira Nair and the distinguished post-colonial scholar Mahmoud Mamdani. He's also a pretty gifted MC. Chop it up. Chop. That's already a fairly unusual resume for a New York City mayor. Consider also that he would be the city's first Muslim mayor, its first openly socialist mayor, and his first immigrant mayor in more than 70 years. Perhaps you're having trouble imagining a socialist mayor of the world's richest city, at the epicenter of a global financial system. New York City's annual budget is larger than that of 3/4 of the world's countries, and it registers an annual GDP equivalent to Canada's. The city has the world's largest population of millionaires and billionaires, and many of them are having trouble imagining a socialist mayor too. To understand Mamdani's appeal though, remember New York City is also a symbol of American inequality. Close to 3/4 of its 8.5 million residents struggle to afford the city's cost of living. And it's that affordability crisis that has made Mamdani the frontrunner. He shocked the Democratic Party establishment by trouncing their pick, former Governor Andrew Cuomo, in the vote to choose the party's candidate. Affordability is the key word. Mamdani promises policies to lower the cost of childcare, rent, mass transit, and even groceries for working class people by raising taxes on the 1% of New Yorkers who earn more than $1 million a year. Needless to say, the city's oligarchs don't love this idea. And the Democratic Party establishment has been unwilling to get behind the nominee chosen by their voters. Some of those billionaires, a number of them Trump donors, rallied behind Cuomo running as an independent. The money has poured in, but it doesn't seem to have made much difference. Perhaps that's because Cuomo hasn't offered an alternative vision to tackle the affordability crisis that touches the majority of voters. Instead, he relies on fear tactics. His go-to point of attack is often Mamdani's rejection of Israeli apartheid and genocide, positions Cuomo brands as anti-Semitic, hoping that he'll stampede the city's almost 700,000 Jewish voters into his fold. Cuomo even very publicly joined Israeli leader Benjamin Netanyahu's legal team to fight against war crimes charges at the International Criminal Court. Mamdani is far more frequently challenged to condemn Hamas than he is to explain his affordability policies, but he refuses to back down from his principled support of Palestinian rights. And the anti-Semitism smear appears to have failed. Polls predict that more than 40% of the city's Jewish voters will choose Mamdani. Cuomo and his allies have branded Mamdani a terrorist sympathizer, and the photos of Mamdani in a pro-Cuomo fundraising mailer even darkened and lengthened his beard as a nod and wink appeal to residual post-9/11 hostility to Muslims. Remember, the city's Muslim community endured horrifying levels of prejudice, profiling, repression, and surveillance in the years following the 2001 attacks, and those were stoked for political gain all the way through to President Trump's 2017 Muslim ban. Electing Mamdani would be a sign that New York City voters have put that ugly legacy behind them. 5 important changes a Mamdani win would signal. 1. The failure of Palestine baiting and false anti-Semitism claims. 2. The failure of Muslim baiting and the invoking of the ghosts of 9/11 to smear a whole community. 3. The failure of red baiting. Mamdani has proudly proclaimed his socialist beliefs, knowing that his more Wall Street-aligned opponents have no solutions to the affordability crisis. 4. The failure of immigrant baiting. His opponents and critics frequently deliberately mispronounce his name to remind white voters that he's an outsider.
The name is Mamdani, M-A-M-D-A-N-I. You should learn how to say it because we got to get it right.
Not realizing that this othering is a painful experience shared by many, many thousands of the city's immigrants. 5. The failure of the Wall Street Democrat establishment, which offers no alternative to status quo policies that have brought so much economic pain. Mamdani is proving the electoral effectiveness of a break with those policies, and that has the party leadership and their donors worried. Mamdani's affordability proposals, his charisma, warmth, authenticity, he can bust a move, and social media chops have attracted 75,000 volunteers to his campaign. Should he win, he'll need to keep those volunteers organized, because Trump and the oligarchs will do whatever they can to undermine him in office.